Now we're going to move into another prophecy here, and this one has to do with the again, disease, which is in reference to what Jesus told his disciples and what we have recorded in the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 7, where he gives you that one sign. There are many signs in that verse, but one of those signs is pestilence or disease. And I want to bring one of those to the forefront right now, because there's a lot of people that are being affected by it, and it is the dengue fever, which has infected now over 12,000 people in Pakistan. So I'm going to put this up here just so you can see it, and if you want, you can go to my website, www.bibleprophecyman.com, and you'll see the link there for this article. You could read the entire article, but it says that already cursed by floods and suicide bombings, Pakistan now faces a new menace from an unprecedented outbreak of the deadly tropical disease, the dengue fever. In less than a month, 126 people have died and more than 12,000 have been diagnosed with the virus, which has spread rapidly among the rich and the poor in Pakistan's culture capital. So the dengue affects between 50 and 100 million people in the tropics and subtropics each year, resulted in fever, muscle and joint ache. But it can also be fatal, developing into a hemorrhagic fever and shock syndrome, which is characterized by bleeding and the loss of blood pressure. So there you have it. You have one of many diseases that are in the news, and these again are just one of the many signs that Jesus said that you would see all at the same time. Now when you go to my website, you're going to see, since we're talking in this article is talking about Pakistan, and you know, they've been inundated not only with the bombings but also floods, and they're still in a dire situation there in Pakistan, where many of the people are just barely surviving, living on mounds of dry land where the water hasn't gotten up to yet. So they are definitely in need of help. But at the same time, in today's news, we see that the Algerian nation was inundated with a massive storm, and it said that the flooding in Algeria has already killed 10 people and destroyed hundreds of homes. So you'll see this kind of news, and we're seeing it, you know, almost on a daily basis. I mean, the Lord told us to watch for these events, and if you're watching the news, if you know what to watch for, you're going to see these things actually being played out in the news. I mean, he didn't tell us to watch these things thinking that we're not going to see it. He told us to keep on the watch, knowing that we would see those things. And it just proves that the words of the Lord are true, and what he says you'll see come to fulfillment, which would, hopefully that would encourage you, because when we saw these things, obviously I said it before, but I'll say it again, we would know that the Lord is coming back. Now, last week I gave you some information about an Iranian pastor who was sent to death because he would not recant Jesus Christ. Well, there was a lot of publicity that went all over the world, and Iran made a statement now. They changed their outlook and said that this pastor wasn't sentenced to death because of Jesus Christ, but he was supposed to be a Zionist traitor. Let me read it, what it said. And you'll see this again at my site as well with the link. It says, Iranian pastor guilty of being a Zionist traitor. Iranian pastor Youssef Nadarkhani should face the death penalty for being a traitorous Zionist. In other words, somebody who was helping Israel. and committing security crimes not for apostasy, an official said Friday, according to the Fars news agency, amid a Western outcry over his sentence. Now, obviously, the leader of Iran is Ahmadinejad. Ahmadinejad hates Israel. Ahmadinejad has said over and over again, and it is documented in my book, that he wants to destroy Israel. He loathes anyone who wants to hook up with Israel. Not only does he loathe anyone who wants to hook up with Israel, he has a hatred for the Jews because they do not worship Allah. And President Ahmadinejad also hates anyone who doesn't worship Allah, and he wants to make all of the world come under the guise of his God, Allah. And he's doing whatever he can to make that happen. So when you hear that there's been a change of heart, that they don't want to put this pastor to death because he won't recant Jesus, the real fact of the matter is he's just reverting and drawing attention away from the actual truth. He hates Israel, and he hates Christians, and he hates anybody who doesn't, like I said, doesn't go under his thumb of worship for Allah. And he's done everything that he could possibly do to crush Christianity and to crush the Jews and to crush Israel itself. So, but these things are prophesied, and this pastor, we still need to keep praying for him, because obviously the amount of press that he has gotten has already helped. So let's keep praying that the Lord would find it, just like he got Paul out and he opened the jail and let him go. We pray that the Lord will allow this Christian brother of ours, and keep praying that the Lord will let him go too as well. So thank you.